it's time to play ball. We started the answer a little early today, so we're going to get going here in just a bit. Dan Leach with you in Lake Trust Stadium in beautiful Howell, Michigan, at Clear University. And we've got the rubber match between the Jetbox and the Monarchs, and what a game for the Jetbox last night after going down 7-0 in the first game of this three-game set. Then, in a 7-7 tie with 2 down and then a swinging strike that would have been the third out on Kristich, for the Jetbox. Pass ball, gets to first, and the Jetbox from there score 8 straight runs with 2 outs. 8 straight, never seen anything like it. So now, Monarchs, who had a chance to get back to 500, will have a chance to get back to 6-7. Jetbox 2-8. And then after this, the Monarchs back to the road to play the Clippers. We'll be back here on Sunday for a home game against the Clip Joint. Here are your starting lineups. First for this Jetbox team. Number 30, Cody Holtake will lead off, play second base. Number 57, Caden Penn. The DH will bat second. Batting third, number 33, Colin Priest, first baseman. Batting cleanup, number 11, Brennan Lux, the third baseman. Batting fifth, number 31, Liam Pollock, left field. Batting sixth, number 17, Nick Kroll, the shortstop. Batting seventh, number 8, Joshua Robinson, the Swiss family, for playing right field. Number 8, the 8 batter. Number 12, Michael Shadar, normally leads off for this Jetbox team. He's a center fielder. And then the number 9 hitter is number 2, Matthew Meyer, the catcher, pitching for the Monarchs. Number 24, one of the 6 new players for this Jetbox team, with the majority of the squad up in Alaska. We'll update you on that 2-game set they played so far in just a moment, including that midnight game last night. It'll be Jake Peer, Henry Ford Community College sophomore out of Southgate, Michigan. He's played 1 game so far, 1 inning pitched, 1 strikeout, no walks, no hits, an ERA, which pitchers love, of 0. Defensively for the Monarchs tonight, Jason Dower in center, Ethan Rose in left, TJ Potkova in right. Jonas St. Antoine will play shortstop. Second baseman will be Jason Gametti. Met his parents before the game. They're excited citizens and enjoying the broadcast, so thanks so much to them. And I also got a chance to talk with Jason before the game as well. First base, Scoop Harden, that's his usual spot, and Brody Akers at third. Sam Thompson will move behind the dish tonight. Normally he's been DHing, the best batter on this team. And speaking of Sam Thompson, I got a story for you about him being a true leader. We'll get to that in just a minute, but here we go as we are about to get underway for this rubber match. And I'm by myself tonight because my man Tom Cavanaugh on assignment, going on Highway 51 in California right now and playing with some rocket ships. Game time temperature is a beautiful 76 degrees, mostly cloudy. Might see some rain tomorrow. And first pitch at 6:58, and it's outside for a ball. Behind the plate tonight, my man Marty Ernest. We were talking before the game. Back to the Future came out, Mark and J. Fox are the same age, and he definitely played that up. And in the field is Herschel Ring the Bell. Herschel Bell, that spray to the second baseman, Gametti. Gametti easily throws out the leadoff hitter, Cody Holtake, and 1 up, 1 down for the Monarchs. And mentioning about Sam Thompson, it was a rough loss last night. One of the things baseball, you see something new every day sometimes. It's crazy. The game's been around for 150-plus years. But very frustrating loss when the Monarchs had a chance with runners at second and third, bottom of the 8th inning, and less than 2 outs and couldn't score, and then giving up the 8 runs in the top of the 9th inning. First pitch strike to Caden Penn, the DH. Sam Thompson had some words of leadership to his team after the game, and it just shows how great of a kid he is and what he means to this Monarch squad. 1-1 count now from Jake Peer. Sam Thompson, a Michigan State senior from Bremen, Georgia, and you just love having the leadership like that. He's averaging 500, one of the best hitters in the league. That slowly rolls to the third baseman, Brody Green Acres, and an easy put out for him. So 2 up, 2 down for the Monarchs here in the first inning, after the Jetbox had scored 12 straight runs to end the game last night. And now batting third is number 33, Colin Priest. Got a very funny story about Priest and Brennan Lux that we'll get to when they go back in the field to the Jetbox for the bottom of the first. That ball outside. Mentioned Jake Peer, Henry Ford Community College, sophomore from Southgate, Michigan. A perfect 0 ERA. He's only pitched 1 inning so far, but one of the 6 new players, and it's great to start off with a 0 ERA. I don't care how long he pitched. And a swing and a miss. Nice breaking ball there by Peer. It was a pear-shaped breaking ball, if you will. By the way, the usual suspects are here. Gary Primetime Pogromich will join me in the third and fourth inning. Kyle, Nick on the PA, and the great Tim Riley, one of my favorite Irishmen. Him and Patches O'Houlihan, my top two Irish all time. I guess Rory's probably up there too. Not as high as Tim Riley. And that ball sprayed high and deep, but playable for Ethan. Every rose has a thorn, and 3 up, 3 down for the Jetbox. The Monarchs will come to bat. And I got that funny story about Colin Priest and Brendan Lux coming up next, right here on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Welcome back to beautiful Lake Trust Stadium here on a beautiful Thursday night. Might have some rain in the air tomorrow, but tonight it's cooled off. It was really spicy. I'm going on my 4+ mile walks post-surgery and loving them, but it's been really hot the last couple days. The UV's been bad. Tonight, windy, not crazy wind, about 7 miles an hour out of the northwest, but cloudy and a perfect temperature for baseball and or golf. Have a major death match with both the brothers Rieger tomorrow. Jeff, I guess I could say I have 97 on the ticket fame, my former colleague. But there's no fame included with Jeff Rieger's name, and his brother, baby Dave Rieger. Hopefully we avoid the raindrops. So a 1-2-3 inning for Jake Peer, and now on the mound for his first appearance ever for the Jetbox. You'll see that a lot in this collegiate league. Some of these guys can come to certain games. Other times they have to work, whether they're fitting for shoes at DSW or slinging drinks at Applebee's. There's my friend that I met the other day, Erica said Crapplebee's. And it's Ryan Polega in his first start for this Jetbox squad out of Rochester College. He's a junior from Sterling Heights, Michigan. So, leading off the game here is number 9, Jonas St. Antoine. He's another one of those 6 new players for the Monarchs, the shortstop. And so far on his young season, has really shown some promise. Definitely speedy around the base pass. It's stolen second and third in last night's game and then came around and scored. Takes a 1-0 count here from Ryan Polega. Keep wanting to say polenta because it's one of my favorite side dishes, but I'll just stick with the real name because I'm sure he has family watching. 2-0 count, 2 straight balls from Polega to Jonah St. Antoine out of University of Pittsburgh, the Frosh. And that down the pipe, called strike there by Marty Ernest. That call made in earnest, if you will. So 2-1 on the leadoff hitter here, Jonah St. Antoine. And that ball outside, Jason Dower, the center fielder, will bat second. Scoop Harden, first baseman, will bat third. Sam Thompson, the catcher, will clean up as usual. TJ Pakova will bat fifth, the right fielder. Ethan Rose will bat sixth, the left fielder. Number 13, Connor Cornwell, will DH in the 7th spot. Here comes the 3-1 count. And St. Antoine works a walk. So good start for the Monarchs here after the bad taste in their mouth from last night, and really could be a turning point in the season, even though the majority of the Monarchs are in Alaska. After a tough beatdown with 8 straight runs at the top of the 9th, I'm going to come back and win this series. Batting 8th for the Monarchs will be number 37, Brody Greenacres, the third baseman, and 9th, number 9, number 31, Jason Gameni, the second baseman. Up now is the 2-hitter, number 27, Jason Dower, the center fielder. Dower from Point U, Georgia, takes a pitch inside and thinking about stealing there with St. Antoine. So I mentioned that I got a funny story for you. So I'm prepping for the game, and right now you've got Brendan Lux, who wasn't able to come last night. He's at third base, and you've got Colin, the religious man priest, at first base. But there was a situation on Tuesday's game, and we're normally really good about number switches, but it wasn't announced because it's just a fielding switch. There's a ball there, 2-0. And Colin Priest actually moved to left, and Brendan Lux moved to third, and we still thought that it was Brendan Lux out in left field, and he was struggling with some plays that, checking the runner is Pelega. He was struggling with some catches, looked a little shaky, so I called him Shaky McGavern. But the whole time it was Colin Priest. And Brendan Lux's father, who is, the assistant coach for the Jetbox, was watching the game last night, or on Tuesday, was able to come, Butch Lux, and pointed out that Shaky McGavern, when he came up here, we had super fun, he had a nice laugh about it. That ball down the middle for a strike, 2-1 on Jason Dower. But the most important reason he came up here was to get Garrett Primetime Pogrovich, the official scorer, to change it and take the error away. He's like, listen, I get an error, you make fun of me, but please take that one away. So Colin Priest, holy man, picks up the error, and I get to make a new friend. Oh, that ball almost hits him, and then down to second, and an easy steal is Jonas Antoine. I mentioned he stole second and third in one go-around last night, and then ended up coming home and scoring. It was part of a 4-run fifth inning for the Monarchs, but boy, things changed in a hurry. They're up by 6. They're up 6-3 after 6, and then Jetbox were able to tie it, and the Monarchs came back, or take the lead, 7-6. That ball smacked high and deep to left. Should be an easy play for Liam Pollock, and it is. Runner stays at second, one down here in the bottom of the first. But after that situation where the Jetbox took the lead 7-6, in the bottom of the seventh, the Monarchs tied it up. Then in the bottom of the eighth, bottom of the eighth, they tied it up. Had a chance with runners on second and third and one down, take the lead and have 3 defensive outs to win the game. Instead, they didn't score. It was a good relief appearance last night by the Jetbox, by Renner. And that one high is Antoine is speed demoning to third. He's already got 4 stolen bases in his few games here so far for the Jetbox. Is now digging in is Scoop Harden, the first baseman for this Monarch squad. Had the walk-off in the first game ever here, and he's going to drive in a run as Scoop Harden. He's out at first, but St. Antoine comes in, and the Monarchs take a 1-0 lead now with 2 down in the first inning. But yeah, 7-6 lead. The Monarchs tie it up. They can't get the runs at the bottom of the eighth. And then at the top of the ninth, a swinging strike that would have been the end of the game, but a pass ball. Runner safe at first from that point on. 8 straight runs scored in the top of the ninth to win it 15-7. So this is definitely a turnaround chance here for the Monarchs. They can still win this series and move to 6-7. Team that had the best record in the league last year, 23-15, won the North Division. Now stepping in the cleanup hitter, Sam Thompson, the catcher. Thompson has been fantastic all season long, batting right around 500, 14 hits, 10 ribbies, 6 runs, 29 at bats. This is his 30th, and definitely one of the great leaders of this team. Now takes another ball, 2-0. Nobody on, but 1 run in. St. Antoine comes around on the ground out from Scoop Harden. Sam Thompson out of Michigan State, the senior from Bremen, Georgia. He's been DHing recently, but he's going to catch tonight. That inside and tight for ball number 3 off the hands of Ryan Pelega in his first ever start here for the Jetbox. Jetbox coached by Steve Herbst, Butch Lux, the assistant coach, bench coach Jeremy Kroll, Joe Radezeski, is another coach on the bench. And that ball smacked into the gap between the left fielder and the center fielder, and that's going to fall down for another hit for Sam Thompson, who now has 15 hits and batting over 500. Now a chance to drive him in. Number 16, TJ Podkova, the right fielder. And Podkova so far in the season, just batting 118, has 2 runs, 2 hits, 4 ribbies, and 17 plate appearances. A chance to drive one in here, pitch outside from Pelega. As I mentioned, Gary Primetime Pogrovich after his debut last night, wasn't too much negative energy on Twitter, so he's going to come back and do the third and fourth inning with me. His parents were very excited. Told me that I really made their son's life, and I appreciate them saying that. Here's the 1-0. That looked inside, but not according to Marty Ernest. It's 1-1 on the number 5 hitter, TJ Podkova, from Henry Ford Community College. Fighting Model Ts, junior from Monroe, Michigan. Had a really good year for them. And that one sliced towards second. Can he make the play? He can. That was Holtink to Priest, and that will end the inning. But the Monarchs score one as Jonas Antoine rides around the bases. Scoop hard and forces them in. It's 1-0 Monarchs after one on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Dan Leach back here with you. Lake Trust Stadium, top of the second inning. 1-0 Monarchs. Give you an update on the league so far. As we mentioned, more than half the Monarchs are up in Alaska, and unfortunately they lost again last night. They lost 7-6 in a walk-off to the Alaska Gold Panthers a couple nights ago, but then last night they got a chance to play in one of the most unique sporting events in the country, the 118th annual midnight game. They played at 2 a.m. local time here, 10 p.m. local time in Alaska, because of course there's about 20 hours of sunlight right now out there in Alaska. Gold Panthers got them, though, last night, 5-1. Muskegon Clippers, though, lead the North Division right now, 9-1. Monarchs will see them next for 3 games, 2 on the road, 1 here on Sunday. Lima Locos 9-3. Sandusky Ice Haulers 8-3. Monarchs right there at 5-7. And fourth, Royal Leprechauns 4-7. Jetbox 2-8. And leading off the inning here is Brendan Lux, the aforementioned. He's showing bunt. That's going to roll foul. He told me if he gets an error to make fun of him, which I would not do. I'd do it in fun, in jest. But Colin Priest had that error, so Garrett Primetime Pogramich has sent it out to all the news wires. By the way, before we get too deep in this game, I just wanted to say very, very sorry for what happened to that Titan submersible around Titanic. Just very sad news that all on board lost their lives. It was a story that captivated the world. And, they knew what they were getting into, but it still doesn't make it any less tragic. That being said, at least from what we're hearing, it was very quick and painless when that sub imploded. Just what a crazy story. And the Titanic, they're right there by the Titanic where over 1,500 people lost their lives. So I guess if you're an adventurer, if you're going to go out, that's the way to go out. 1-1 here on Brennan Lux, the third baseman for the Jetbox. Younger brother of Ryan, right to the pitcher. Pierre easily puts him out. Nice play there, showing his quick cat-like reflexes, is Jake Pierre. So 4 up, 4 down. Now for the Jetbox, number 31, Liam Pollock, the left fielder. By the way, the South Division, the Zinnia Scouts, 10-3. They lead the entire league in wins right now in the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League. The Richmond Jazz, big Miles Davis fans, they're 7-5. Helena Joe, 6-6. Cincinnati Steam, 5-6. Grand Lake Mariners, 4-8, along with the South Ohio Copperheads. And the Licking County Settlers, my favorite name in the league, is that one smashed to center field by Pollock, but right there, didn't have to move an inch, was Jason Dower. He played that one well, and now 5 up, 5 down. This reminds me of the first game against the Jetbox, where both teams had, I think it was 7 up and 7 down, and then there was a hit by the Jetbox. But of the first 12 batters, 11 of them were down for the Jetbox pitching staff, and 12 were down for the Monarchs. Or the Monarchs had 12 straight down, and 11 of 12 for the Jetbox. The Lincoln County Settlers, by the way, 1-9. They have the worst record in the league right now, but maybe the best name, aside from, of course, the Michigan Monarchs. So 2 down, nobody on base, and that one towards third from Nick Kroll, and that's going to get through, and it's the first hit of the night for the Jetbox here in the top of the second for the bat of Nick Kroll, the comedian. And now number 8, the 7 batter, Joshua Robinson, the right fielder, part of that great Swiss Family Robinson crew. Joshua Robinson out of Davenport University. We found out Davenport was the Panthers. Davenport Sex Panthers. Doesn't even make any sense. 2 down, 1 on. That ball outside on the hands of Pierce. Pitched pretty well so far. Really showed his command early in this one. Had 5 up, 5 down. Robinson, a senior from DeWitt, Michigan. This Monarchs team, by the way, coached tonight by David Robinson and Peter Riley, as Kelton Caldwell and Adam Castillo are up in Alaska. And that one smashed to center field, but it looks like Dower's got a beat on it. He does, and that's the end of the threat. And the end of the top of the second. We head to the bottom of 2. Monarchs will look for some more offense. They're up 1-0 here on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Dan Leach back here with you. Beautiful Lake Trust Stadium. We start in the bottom of the second here. Both teams with a hit, but the Monarchs have scratched across the run with a great base stealing and base running of Jonah St. Antoine. Scoop Harden forced him in the bottom of the first, and it's 1-0. Michigan trying to win this 3-game set for the Jetbox and get their record back to 6-7. And here comes number 30, or check that out. Number 3, Ethan Every Rose has a Thorn, will lead off the inning for the Monarchs. Last night, Rose had a run, a hit, 2 ribbies. Did strike out 3 times. He is batting .333. He's one of the 6 new players joined the team after the majority of the team went up to Alaska a few days ago. And on the mound is Ryan Pelega in his first start for the Jetbox. That went in there for a strike. Great to have you along for the ride tonight. If you're watching on the continental U.S., up in Alaska, or maybe even in San Jose, Costa Rica, my former hometown. It was a lot of fun living in Costa Rica, that's for sure. Now they're filming like reality dating shows there. Garrett Pogrovich, team operations manager, and also a arcade aficionado, big fan of San Jose, Costa Rica, and reality shows. Garrett also is a certified rabbi, which I thought was interesting. And down the middle for a strike, 1 and 2. You can also marry people, right? You're part of the Unified Church. Garrett shaking his head. I'm kidding. He's not a certified rabbi. But he will be joining me in the 3rd inning, which could be just moments away. But hopefully for the Monarchs, it's a long way away, and he scored a bunch of runs here. That ball, slow dribbler to the second baseman, Cody Holtink, and he puts him out to Colin Priest, and it's 1 up, 1 down here in the second for the Monarchs. And next up, the 7-hitter. It's number 13, Connor Cornwell, who will DH tonight. Cornwell comes into the game batting .280, 4 ribbies, 7 hits, 4 runs, and 25 at-bats in 8 games. And last night, Cornwell had a hit or RBI and did strike out twice. That one fouled towards the left side. Really is probably the best weather we've had for a game out here since we've started calling them a couple weeks ago. Last couple days were quite spicy. That ball fouled back, now 0-2 on the number 7 hitter and designated hitter Connor Cornwell. We like to call him Connor Can of Cornwell. Made a great play at the plate last night, catching a ball behind the home plate dish to end an inning. Check that out as he checks the swing, and that's going to be a strike. He strikes him out. Looking, Cornwell can't believe it, and he will have to wait for his next opportunity. And now 2 down, nobody on, and coming up, the 8-hitter, number 37, Brody Greenacres, the third baseman. Brody Akers, one of the new players as well from Sylvania, Ohio, at 66 hits and 39 RBIs for Walsh University, a D2 school in Ohio. He's a sophomore. Pretty darn good season for Akers, looking for what a lot of these kids are looking for in this league, good reps to bring back to his team come his junior year. And that right down the pipe for a strike. And after a little hiccup in the first inning, Ryan Pelega looking pretty good in his first start for the Jetbox here in the second. Monarchs lead at 1-0. Dan Leach here with you. Here at Primetime Pogromage will join me in the next inning for a couple. That down the middle for another strike. And now, last two batters, he's been ahead 0-2. Has Pelega looking for another strikeout. And that almost hits him. Good eye there by Akers to get out of the way. If he kind of stayed in maybe 6-7 inches to the right, that could have hit his helmet. We had 3 hit batters in the helmet last night. It was nuts. Here's the 1-2. And that almost hits him again. And after looking really in command for the first 2 batters, Pelega has kind of lost control here. And now the count even at 2-2 for Brody Green Akers. 2-2. 2 down, nobody on, 1-0 Monarchs. Here's the offering. Oh, that does hit him. So he was getting closer and closer, and Pelega, I know, feels bad. It's obviously not intentional. And gingerly working his way to first base as Akers looked like he got him on the upper left shoulder. Hopefully he's all right. And out to talk to Pelega is Matthew Meyer. And there's Pelega smiling at umpire Marty Ernest. Obviously just had a brain freeze, a pitching brain freeze there after looking so good and getting 0-2 counts on back-to-back batters. Having an 0-2 count on Akers there, and then just almost hit him twice in the helmet and then hit him in the back. So now 1 on, 2 out, and here's the number 9 hitter, Jason Gameni, the second baseman. Jacob Gameni. What the Sam hell? And that smacked foul. Yeah, I called him by the correct name, Jacob, but I was told, I won't say who, Tom Cavanaugh. And I met Jacob's parents. Quite the delight. I'm forgetting their names. I'll call them Susan and Harold. Those are my parents' names. All right, I'll call them Thomason and Bernadette. But they are fantastic peeps, and they're here supporting their son every game. There's a swing and a miss on Gameni, 0-2. And after it looked like the wheels might be coming off for Pelega, after looking in command for much of this game, he's back at it with an 0-2 count. And that past the backstop and easily moving to second is Akers. And if you're just joining us for the first time, it's 65 feet from home plate to this beautiful brick backstop here. Dimensions, by the way, for the rest of the field, 330 to the left and right, 420 in the gaps, and 440 all the way to deep center. Beautiful field here at Clear University. Here comes the 1-2 with now a runner on second in scoring position for Jacob Gameni. And that smashed foul. He stays alive at 1-2 here. Monarchs would love to end this homestand with a series win after a 7-0 victory in Game 1, having a great chance to win it last night, and then giving up the 8 runs in the top of the ninth, and then playing the clip joint for the next 3 games, 2 on the road, and then back here on Sunday. Game time will be 7:05. First pitch that will be on the air around 6:55. 2-2 now on Jacob Gameni, the second baseman. Takes ball 3, so a full count now. As Gameni from Grand Rapids Community College. He is a junior. Had 59 hits and 37 RBI for GRCC out of St. Clair Shores. I know they'll make my good friend and voice of the Detroit Red Wings, Ken Cal, happy. His home area. So now, full count, runner in motion, and it doesn't matter. Oh, we got a delayed call here. They're going to say it's a foul. Oh, foul tip into the catcher's mitt. A little delayed call there by Marty Ernest, but the inning is over. I don't think that Gameni can believe it. He thought that was a ball, but they're going to say it's a foul tip into the catcher's mitt. That ends the inning, ends the threat. The Monarchs still lead at 1-0. We head to the top of the third here at Primetime Pogromage will join me next, right here on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Welcome back. Dan Leach here with you at beautiful Lake Trust Stadium at Clary University. Monarchs lead it 1-0 as we head to the top of the third, and I am joined by one of my finest proteges, top-level human. Did a great job last night for a couple innings. We're going to do this the next couple games while my partner in crime, Tom Cavanaugh, is out of town. Garrett Primetime Pogovich.
Yes, thank you for letting me on, and we wish all the best of luck to Tom Cavanaugh launching Bottle Rockets, I believe, in Long Beach, California.
Yes, he's launching Bottle Rockets, and he's also entering surf competitions. Here's Shadarov to lead off the inning for the Jetbox.
Hitting .257. I'm surprised they moved him from the top of the lineup, now down to the 8 batter. You got to wonder what the decision from head coach
Steve Herbst I was thinking the same thing, and maybe Steve Herbst is thinking, okay, he's been such a good leadoff here. Let's see what he can do at the bottom of the lineup, give it a chance for a guy like Cody Holtink and Penn at the top of the lineup. But everyone was hitting last night late in the game for this Jetbox team. A half swing there, and they're going to say it's a strike. Shadarov did have 2 runs and a hit, a ribby, a walk, and 2 strikeouts in last night's game. The 15-7 absurdity that was the 8-run with 2 outs, top of the 9th inning to beat the Monarchs. And that, right on the borderline, a little outside, according to Marty Ernest, and it's 1-2. So far, Jake Pierre out of Henry Ford Community College, the Fighting Model Ts, looked pretty good, Garrett.
Yeah, he also looked really good on the 7-0 victory a couple nights ago when he pitched in the 9th inning. Go ahead.
Towards first, Scoop Harded scoops it up, and it's 1 up, 1 down here in the 3rd inning. So you mentioned that I know you have a lot of your church friends listening, so happy communion and happy confession to all of them.
Yes, yeah. Thank you.
Give a shout out to your church, because I know it means a lot to you.
Yeah, a big shout out to St. Joseph Church in Howell, Michigan. In my hometown church growing up, my dad is the deacon there. And then a big shout out to University Christian Outreach as well, where I do ministry in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
That ball inside to Matthew Meyer, the number 9 here, the catcher. Meyer last night, just with 1 at bat, did walk, just batting 7.77 on the season. That's not good, but not a ton of chances. That right to the pitcher. Pierre can't get it. It's going to be an unlucky situation, I think. No, it's not. He gets him. I thought that little bobble of the ball was going to hurt. Instead, Pierre recovered and made a brilliant throw there, prime time. Yeah, you talk about Harded at first.
You talk about the cat-like reflexes. It was full on display there, literally jumping off of the pitcher's mound to get that ball and throw the out.
That was cheetah-like reflex. I thought there was not going to be enough time to get Matthew Meyer, who doesn't run that well, but he doesn't run slow. And what a play by Jake Pierre. It looked like it was an unlucky bounce.
Meyer had a stolen base last night, too. So.
Yeah, but what a great recovery. And now they turn the lineup over. It's Cody Holtink, the second baseman. Holtink last night, 2 runs, a hit, 3 RBI, a walk, 2 strikeouts, batting .241 coming into tonight's ball game.
Some stats padded due to that 9th inning.
Yes, a lot of stats got padded there. That ball skied to right on his horse is Potkova. Doesn't matter, it's foul. He couldn't have gotten it anyway. But good hustle by TJ out there in right field.
Yeah, turned into a real utility guy. Started out at first base for the Monarchs, now moving to right field. And I saw him warming up for pitcher earlier tonight, so we might see him come in if Jake Pierre starts to struggle a little bit down the stretch.
Yeah, you got a couple two-way players on this team, and he's one of them, Potkova.
Yep, J.J. Arbini also. Yep. He's in Alaska at the moment.
Alaska or just Alaska?
Say that again?
Alaska? It's from the movie Into the Wild. If you don't know it, if you know, you know. Here's the 1-1 count. 1-1 pitch, on Holtink. That smacked towards right center. It's going to fall in. And Holtink on safely. It looked like a little confusion there. I mean, Gabetti was on the run and just kind of got over his head.
Yeah, you see it a lot of bloops. So you wonder why that is. Maybe kids are used to swinging the metal bats. They don't have to swing as hard. Now they're swinging the wood bats, with, at the same velocity. Leads to some bloops right in the middle of the outfield.
It's a great point. Yeah, I mean, people don't know this is a fully wooden bat league. It's a lot different than swinging that metal, that aluminum you're watching during the College World Series right now. How about LSU staying alive and getting a chance to eliminate Wake Forest? That one skied to center. That's going to drop.
Speak of the devil.
For a base hit. There you go. And not being able to get to that one is the Monarchs defense. And instead of keeping them to second, it's first and third. Great base running there by Meyer. And now Caden Penn with a chance to drive in a run with 2 down. Remember, this Jetbox team scored 12 straight runs last night and 8 in the 9th inning, all with 2 outs. So this is kind of a 2-out magic type of team here, Garrett.
Yeah, and that 12 run doesn't include the inside the park home run that Cody Holtink had, who just advanced to third base.
And that one smacked to left field. I think that Rose has his thorn. He does, and that's the end of the threat. and the end of the inning, and the Monarchs come back to bat here at the bottom of the third, up 1-0 on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Welcome back to beautiful Lake Trust Stadium here on a beautiful night for baseball. Dan Leach alongside Garrett Primetime Pogrovich, who has like 16 different hats for the Monarchs, sells the snacks, team operations manager, gets us the lineups, does a great job with the press box. Is there anything you don't do? Do you also garden for the team?
Oh, no, unfortunately not. My mother is...
So what is there? What do you not do? I don't think there's anything you don't do for the team.
I'm not sure. I read on the team website that I'm also the community relations manager, which
I thought you were going to say you're also the commissioner. I'm like, no, I don't know if you're the commissioner. Also the commissioner of the Great Lakes community. I'm also an all-star. Here's Jonas St. Antoine to lead off the inning, and he's the leadoff batter.
This is exactly who you want at the leadoff batter. He has now 4 stolen bases in 3 games now. It's exactly who you want at the top. Wheels.
Still second in the bottom of the first, and ended up coming around and scoring on that Scoop Harden force out or ground out. So it's a 2-0 count here on St. Antoine. One of those 6 new players, Garrett, joined the team after half the squad went up to Alaska. Unfortunately, they're 0-2 so far. Do they play again tonight?
Yes, they do. They play up until Saturday afternoon.
Are they playing all the games against the Gold Panthers?
I believe so.
It's kind of boring. I want to find some other Alaska teams. Maybe like the Kodiak Zions, maybe the Halibut Kings. I mean, there's got to be some other teams up there, Garrett.
If I can name Alaskan cities, I would join you in this, but...
Juneau. Isn't that the capital? I know my capitals, man. Here's the 3-0, and a 4-pitch walk by Polega in his first appearance here for the Jetbox. So this is not you don't want to, we talked about this a lot, Garrett, on the broadcast. Leadoff walks can be killers, but you definitely don't want a leadoff walk with Jonas St. Antoine.
Yeah,
he's one of the speediest players in this league.
Absolutely. Last time was a 5-pitch walk, so not really giving him much of a challenge there. A lot of those pitches high and inside.
And here's Jason Dower, the center fielder. Out of Point U, senior from Alpharetta, Georgia. Dower last night scored 2 runs. Is batting 100, though.
One of Kelton Caldwell's guys, Point U. That's where he coaches.
Yep.
In the spring.
It's a great name for a basketball school. I don't know how much of a great name it is for a baseball school. I mean, I go to Point U, man. I drain triples. You don't score points in baseball. They're runs. This ball high and out to right, and it will stay foul, so just a loud foul ball. 1-1 on Jason Dower. Dower. Oh, go ahead, Garrett.
Flew out to the 7th last time. Go ahead.
Garrett, Dower with 91 at-bats for Point U, 231 average in his senior season. Looking for some more experience here before he tries to possibly move to the next level of baseball. Independent leagues or minors, whatever it is. That while skied on the infield, should be the infield fly rule, it is. And making the play anyway is Holtink, and that will be the first out of the inning. And St. Antoine still at first. And you wonder, Garrett, maybe you send him here with Scoop Harden at the plate and Sam Thompson coming up, one of the best hitters in the entire Great Lakes Collegiate Summer League. Is this where you want to maybe get him in motion?
Absolutely. And both Scoop and Sam Thompson, both very clutch hitters.
And the first pitch swinging towards center field on his horse is Shadarov. He'll make the play easy, didn't have to move much. And Taggy going to second and getting stone cold thrown out after some great base running for his first couple of games. St. Antoine probably should have gone there. He's thrown out. That ends the inning. Sam Thompson doesn't get a chance to come up. He'll be leading off the bottom of the fourth for the Monarchs, but Garrett Primetime Pogrovich will be taking over for the top of the fourth right here on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to the Michigan Monarchs Broadcasting Network. Garrett Pog here with you, or Primetime Pogrovich, based on who you ask. I've had some affiliates call me GPS as well when I was the stat man over at WHMI 93.5 as an intern. Here at the top of the fourth, if you're just joining us, 1 run scored for the Monarchs and 1 hit. The run scored by Jonah St. Antoine after a walk and 2 stolen bases. And Jake Pierce been lights out, allowing 3 hits, no runs, a lot of ground outs. Yet to throw a strikeout tonight. As now Sam Thompson, the catcher, jogs out to the field to get some work in with Jake Pierre. And the catcher's room for the Michigan Monarchs is really their biggest strength. You know, the 2 catchers that went to Alaska, Zacharias Salinas and Makana Olaso, 2 of the most consistent hitters on this team. Olaso, one of 2 batters to hit a home run for this team. Zacharias Salinas hit 4 or 5 in the opening day debut for him. Now up at the plate is Brennan Lux, who had that funny story that Dan mentioned earlier, where he came up asking about, what's up with this error? What's up with that error? It's called strike, 0-1. Jake Pierre throws fastball outside. That's going to be 1-1 now. Like I mentioned, Jake Pierre signed pretty much off the street just a couple days ago. Has looked lights out there with another called strike. There on Brendan Lux, who grounded out to the pitcher last time around. The 1-2 count turns into 2-2. Throws it in the dirt. 5th pitch of the at-bat coming up. And Brennan Lux hitting .217. As now, that's going to be a strikeout looking. We won't make fun of him for that one. As he walks off, somewhat disappointed. Now coming up is Liam Pollock, who's a pinch hitter last night. Stepped in for the catcher, Matt Meyer. Looking to get things going, gets called on a strike. That's one of the things that, you know, assistant coach Peter Rowley, who's now turned into interim head coach while Kelton Caldwell's away, is that's going to be a a foul ball to the left towards my car. Hope it remains in one piece. Say a prayer for me if you wouldn't mind. But Peter Rowley mentioned to his people, to his pitchers, hey, trust your stuff, get ahead in the count, because we don't have a lot of you. Pitchers are in short supply. Jake Pierce signed off the street just a couple days ago. As they're going to try to keep the pitch count low and the strikeouts high. So that's going to be high and away. Leads to a 1-2 count. With 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Garrett Pog here with you. It is a breezy 75 degrees here at Lake Trust Stadium. Ball outside, 2-2. As I might regret not bringing my jacket. It's been so sunny these past couple days, I've stopped bringing it. If you were here our opening day game, you might remember the 20-mile-an-hour winds left everybody chilly. So it's a foul to the brick stop back wall. Seventh pitch of the at-bat coming up. Liam Pollock from Oakland U. He's starred by our good friend Tom Cavanaugh, meaning he's one of the good players going into his sophomore year this upcoming season. Not to say that any of these players aren't good, as that's going to be another foul ball. Grounded out to the right. But Tom has his guys. He looks at all these guys, top to bottom. I'm sure he watches a lot of film, looks at a lot of stats. He has only 4 starred guys for the Jetbox. And the outfielder, Liam Pollock, is one of them. That's going to be hit out to the... Oh, diving catch. That's going to be Jason Dower there making the grab. Oh, not quite. My apologies. Must have hit the ground beforehand. Field umpire got a good look at that. It's going to be a single for Liam Pollock. As now Nick Kroll, not the comedian, making his way to the plate. Good on-field awareness by Liam Pollock to see, hey, got to make it to first one way or the other. So it's going to be a foul out, and looking to steal was Liam Pollock. Because of the foul, he's going to have to jog back to first base. 0-1, runner on first. 1 out in the inning. Jake Pierre playing spectacular so far. Looking to keep it going. Throws back to the first base. Got to keep him on edge. Can't allow him to think he's going to get to second so easily. We've seen a couple of those caught stealing going back to first this season. As now it's a ball outside. 1-1 with 1 out. Jetbox now 4 hits, 0 runs, and only 1 hit for the Monarchs. And a run as they are up 1-0. Here at the top of the 4th. And that's going to be hit out to shallow right field. Barely moving an inch is going to be TJ Potkova, who gets that for the fly ball out for the second out of the inning. Now coming up is Josh Robinson, one of many Davenport individuals on this team. Robinson, Shadarov, Schwartz, who's not playing tonight, part of the Davenport Panthers squad. Beautiful campus over there in the west side, best side of Michigan. That's going to be a grounder to the middle. Goes to the second baseman, who throws easy out. That is a 4-3 ground out to end the inning. And the Monarchs are still up 1-0 going into the middle of the 4th. My broadcast partner Dan Leach will join me here in a second. You are listening to the Michigan Monarchs Broadcasting Network.
And welcome back to Lake Trust Stadium. Dan Leach alongside Garrett Primetime Pogovich. Good job there in the top of the 4th, Garrett. By the way, Liam Pollock almost hit my car. Almost like he did it on purpose. About 10 feet away, that foul ball that went to left field.
My car's pretty parked.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it was probably closer to your car. By the way, I'm really excited to take a sip of my beautiful Monster Energy. Should be sponsored the broadcast, but half of it's gone because Tim Riley spilled it. But I still got the good half left.
You're firing shots left and right, Dan.
Hey, listen, it's all fun here in the beautiful Lake Trust Stadium press box. Now, I forget, what's the name of the field? It's M Field? Is that
I just know Lake Trust
Matty
Stadium.
Sanders?
I think it's Matt
And
Stafford, actually.
Sam Thompson skies one on the infield. Might be Matt Stafford. Easy play there for the shortstop, Nick Kroll. 1 up, 1 down. Monarchs, they lead at 1-0 here in the bottom of the fourth. And Garrett, this has been a much different feel early than it was last night, where the Jetbox scored early, then the Monarchs came back and led it 6-3, and then you had that crazy inning in the top of the ninth with 8 runs scored with 2 down to give the Jetbox 57 lead tonight. Good pitching for both Pierre and Polega for the most part, and a timely ground out to score that run when St. Antoine had stolen second and got all the way to third, and then Scoop Harden drove him in. Otherwise, not much going on offensively for either team.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of similar. Go ahead.
And there's TJ Potkova skying one right to Shinarov. So 2 up, 3 pitches, 2 down.
Very similar to the game we had a couple nights ago where, I was at my house before the sun went down, which was quite a shock. Usually these baseball games go 3 hours long, but with the pitch clock and other adjustments made, these games starting to go a lot quicker.
And here comes Ethan. Every rose has its thorn. Ethan Rose so far in the season. The young season for him, just joined the team a few days ago. He's batting .300. 0 for 1 so far tonight. Takes a strike. And in last night's contest, Rose in 5 at-bats had a run, a hit, 2 ribbies. Did strike out 3 times. Here's the delivery for Polega. And the 0-1 count becomes 2-1. Very impressed that your father's a deacon. How does he feel about you becoming a
Where did that come from?
legal rabbi? I was just thinking about it. Obviously, I was kidding. Garrett's not a rabbi. He's very involved in his church. That ball will fall into left field off the bat of Ethan Rose, and he's up at his average and his limited at-bats here for the Monarchs. And 1 on with 2 down now for Connor Cornwell. Connor Cornwell, the designated hitter, number 13. Last night's crazy game, Cornwell had 4 at-bats, didn't have a hit. Drove in a run and struck out twice.
Struck out looking here in the second inning.
And so far tonight, Polega, 3 2/3 pitch, giving up 2 hits, a run, earned run, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. This is his 16th batter in the form of Connor Cornwell.
Cornwell, one of the 4 elite catchers that this team has.
Yeah, they do, all of them. And obviously, you look at a guy like Sam Thompson catching tonight, who's normally DH, team leader, half swing there, and Marty Ernest will say he didn't go around. No appeal. They're going to appeal, and they're going to say he did go around. Wow. All right. Herschel ring the bell, rings him up there.
Looking right at the plate. He had a good view on it.
So 1-1. I didn't think he was going to go to the umpire in the field, Herschel Bell. So 1-1 on Cornwell with a runner on first and 2 down. That one sprayed to right field, but not moving much and making it look easy as Joshua Swiss Family Robinson. That ends the inning. And the threat for the Monarchs, they still lead it though 1-0. We head to the top of the 5th, and we say so long to the young primetime Pogrovich. You'll be back with us on Sunday for a couple innings. Great job. Very proud of you. Pay it forward.
Yeah, appreciate the opportunity, Dan.
Hey, anytime by my man, primetime Pogrovich. He's welcome in the booth. We're right back on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Dan Leach back here with you at Lake Trust Stadium on a beautiful night for baseball. It's about to go down to the low 70s. Looks like there's some rain to the west of the stadium. I think it's going to stay away. Not supposed to rain till some point tomorrow, but definitely cooler with a nice breeze. We've been in the mid to high 80s the last couple days, and no problems with shadows tonight as the lights have been on the entire game. And back on the mound here, pitching so far so good has been Jake Peer. And leading off this top of the fifth is Shinarov, who usually is a leadoff hitter, but this time he's the 8-hitter, center fielder. And he looks at a strike on the first pitch. Here's a rocket shot to right field, but on his horse and making it easy, look easy, is TJ Potkova. And one up, one down. Not much offense to speak of for either team, but so far all they've needed is one run to take the lead. The Monarchs hold that by the slimmest of margins with the way that Jake Pierce pitching, and the Jetbox are not really getting a lot of runners on base. That might be enough after last night's 15-7 scallywag fest. That first pitch right to right field, and missing the play there. Oh, trying with all his might was Gametti, and it will be a base hit for Matthew Meyer. And now up the leadoff hitter, Cody Holtink, second baseman. Holtink had a hit his first time up. One of the Jetbox 5 hits so far tonight. No runs though, but now he's got a runner on first and one down, and a swing and a foul back towards us by Holtink from University of Michigan, the junior from Battle Creek, Michigan. Snap, crackle, and pop. Just like a nice box of cereal. You know, they stopped doing those Kellogg's tours. It was a big thing when I was a kid. You'd go there, meet Snap, meet Crackle. Sometimes Pop would even show up. Tony the Tiger. It was a great time. Garrett would have loved it. Here's the 0-1. And that outside. Just joining us for the first time on the Monarchs Broadcast Network. Welcome. We got people watching from around the country, around the world. And we appreciate it. My man Tom Cavanaugh, my partner in crime, on assignment in California. Today I was told he was parasailing for research purposes. He'll be back next week for a game against the Jetbox here on the 29th of June. Ron's birthday's coming on the 27th. That on the ground to third and ranging and making the play is Brody Akers, but they can't get the lead runner, so it'll be a runner on second now. It's Meyer with two down, and here's the DH, Caden Penn. The number 2 batter, Caden Penn, usually wears number 20 out of Calvin College, but wearing 57. A lot of guys change jersey numbers, and some jerseys can get lost in this league, and we always try to give you the most up-to-date information, but Caden Penn usually is number 20, which obviously one of my favorite numbers, Barry Sanders. And he's a senior out of Washington Township. And first time up, he got a hit. And takes a strike this time. Caden Penn on the season batting .400 to lead the Jetbox as far as average is concerned. So runner on second, doing a little dipsy-do behind him is Jonas St. Antoine. And that one on the ground towards Gametti easily makes the play in the end of the inning with no run scored again. That's through 5. The Monarchs have put zeros on the board when it's come to the Jetbox offense. We head to the bottom of the 5th. 1-0 Monarchs on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Dan Leach back here, Lake Trust Stadium. Great to have you along for the ride. 1-0 Monarchs as we head to the bottom of the fifth. Jake Pear pitching a solid game so far. 5 innings, 5 hits, no earned, no runs, no walks, and 1 strikeout. Faced 20 batters so far. We do have a new pitcher for the Jet Box, and guess who it is? I know he's not a Monarch, but it's my favorite name in this league. It's number 28, Ryan Van Slambrock. I mean, is there a better name than that? Other than there's a guy named Cheeseman. Ryan Van Slambrock out of Macomb Community College. What's their mascot, Garrett? Are they the Fighting Trees? Macomb Community College. My guess is they're the gold miners. They're the Monarchs? Holy smoke factories. All right, there's a Monarch on a Monarch. And Van Slambrook, whoever named him, well, you can't name your last name, but wherever the Van Slambrooks are from, I love you all. He's out of Macomb, Michigan, so he's a local product. Junior right-handed pitcher. And so far on the season for the Jetbox, Van Slambrook with 3 innings pitched, 2 earned, 4 hits, ERA of 6. And leading off things here for the Monarchs in the bottom of the fifth is number 37, the 8-hitter, Brody Greenacres. Third baseman for this squad tonight. There's only 9 players, position players here for the Monarchs. As we have the majority of the team in Alaska. There's a strike. First pitch from Van Slambrook. Let's see how many times I say that name. Probably about 30 this half inning. Here's the 0-1. And that high evens the count at 1-1. Akers grounded out in his first at bat, and he, one of the new players, has yet to register a hit. Did have 66 hits for Walsh University, D2 school, and that sprayed foul to the right field fence. Akers out of Sylvania, Ohio. He's a sophomore. Also drove in 39 runs for his Walsh University team. Can we get a mascot for them? I'm going to say it's the Walsh University Train Conductors. And that one smacked towards center field. Under it is Shadar. He makes the play, and it's 1 up, 1 down for the Monarchs here. Was I right, Garrett? Is it the Train Conductors? There's no chance it's the Train Conductors, but it'd be great if it was. Next up, the number 9 hitter, number 31, Jacob Gamani, the second baseman. Gamani's first time up, struck out swinging. And here's Van Slambrook back in action, and that one sprayed right to the shortstop. Kroll makes the easy put out to Colin Priest, and it's 2 up, 2 down here in the 5th inning. Monarchs lead it 1-0, and now we'll get back to the top of the order, and Jonas St. Antoine out of the University of Pittsburgh, and he did have a run scored after stealing second base in his first at bat, but in his last at bat, after drawing a walk both times, he was tagged out by trying to advance from first. It's the Walsh University Cavaliers, all right, so they're big fans of LeBron or maybe Kyrie Irving, maybe Craig Elo. There's a strike down the pipe for Van Slambrook on young Jonas St. Antoine. Just a freshman. He's got a fellow University of Pitt Panther on this squad, and Quentin Konashevsky is our player of the game a couple nights ago in a 7-0 win. That one sprayed foul to left field. It'll be 0-2 on young St. Antoine, the shortstop tonight. Perfect conditions for baseball. I mean, I could go in center field right now and probably take a nap and be completely comfortable. I'd probably want a pillow, though, a pillow made of roses. Here's the 0-2 outside, 1-2 on St. Antoine. Got a lot of players like St. Antoine and Konashevsky that get themselves to play on these teams together. They're both Michigan products. Saginaw, Michigan is where Quinton's from, and that one too high, 2-2. And St. Antoine, local product as well, and that's kind of how the things go with these teams. There's no draft. You just try to get involved with one of the squads, the one closest to where you live maybe. Here's the 2-2. That one sprayed in the 5-6 hole into left field, and St. Antoine on for the 3rd time in a row. And he's at first, and he's going to go to second now as the ball was kind of bottled around by the second baseman there by Holtink. And now you've got St. Antoine in scoring position, and he's going to go give his batting gloves to Coach David Robinson, doing an admirable job filling in for Kelton Caldwell's up there in the land of the halibut in Alaska with the majority of the Monarchs. We're calling them Monarchs North. And now with a chance to drive in a very important run is center fielder Jason Dower. Batting just 83 on the year, and right tech to the pitcher. First pitch swinging, and that's going to end the threat and the inning. Monarchs still lead at 1-0, though. We move to the top of the sixth on the Monarchs Broadcast Network. Devilish back here at Lake Trust Stadium, and great Garrett Primetime Pogrovich. Monarch statistician just let me know that was Jonah St. Antoine's first hit as a Monarch. Remember, he just joined the team a few days ago, but still his first hit. He's on base all 3 times tonight, walked twice, did score a run, and then gets his first hit, but fortunately was not able to advance. As Dower hit it right back to the pitcher. But back on the mound, pitching a great game so far, is Jake Peer. 5 strong, scattered 5 hits, no runs, no walks, and 1 strikeout. Gotta love that for Jake Peer. Another one of those new players, just a sophomore from Henry Ford Community College. 27 innings pitched, 32 hits, 17 earned, 0-2 for the season for Henry Ford Community College. And now for the Jetbox, it's Colin Priest, the first baseman, the number 3 hitter, leads off the inning here, and this might be the last inning for Jake Peer. Even if it's a fast one, takes a strike down. The pipe does Priest. Colin Priest out of University of Michigan, a freshman from Mount Dora, the Explorer, Florida. And half swing there, he went around, and the call is yes, he did. Not even they do appeal to Herschel ringing the bell, the umpire in the field, but it's easy call there for both him and Marty Ernest if he wanted to make it himself. And that ball smacked to Gameni. Gameni will easily make the play, and it's 1 up, 1 down here in the top of the 6th. It's been a familiar refrain for the Jetbox for much of the night, and for that part, the Monarchs as well. But they do have that run for the bottom of the 1st with St. Antoine getting in on the Scoop Harden ground out. Ground out RBI, the only run scored in the game, and now it's Brennan Lux, the cleanup hitter, and he's going to sky one into the gap right out of the reach of St. Antoine. And that is a nice hit there for Brennan Lux. And now with a chance to drive him in, Liam Pollock, who almost hit by Carr with a foul ball to left in his last at bat. Liam Pollock with a hit and a ground out. It's been 172 though here for the Jetbox. His 3rd chance tonight. With 1 down, runner first, they're going to take off. And the throw down to the second baseman gets him, or the shortstop, excuse me. Great throw from Thompson to St. Antoine. They throw him out. And it's 2 down now, nobody on. Priest had no chance, or excuse me, Lux had no chance there. And a great play by Thompson, one of the great leaders on this team. And now it's a 1-0 count with 2 down and nobody out. And Pollock still up. And that one smacked to center. That's going to drop for a base hit. Nothing that Dower could do about that one. So the Jetbox starting to get a little contact off of Jake Peer, but Peer has pitched so well. If this is his final inning and he ends it with no runs scored, he's going to have probably the best start maybe for this Monarchs team here at home so far this season. Konashevsky was great a few nights ago, and Peer making a case for him having the same kind of start. And now up is the number 6 hitter, shortstop Nick Kroll, the comedian, out of Madonna University. Madonna like a Virgins. He's a senior from Milford. And we do have a substitution, it looks like. Oh, we do have a pinch runner. It's number 22, Bruce Jellison out of Wabash Community College, one of the best JUCO programs in the country. He's from Highland, Michigan. And that ball skied on the infield. Should be a play for Scoop Harden to end the inning, and it is. Threat is over. Monarchs still lead at 1-0. We head to the bottom of the 6th here at Lake Trust Stadium on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Welcome back into Lake Trust Stadium here at beautiful Clare University. A couple subs here for you. Brendan Lux will play left field. Jellison, who pinch ran that last half inning for the Jetbox, will move to third. And Ryan Van Slambrook still in for a second inning of work in relief of Pelego. Went 4 innings, scattered 2 hits, a run, an earned run in the first. Walked 2, struck out 2. And first pitch swinging by Scoop Harden is in for a base hit to left field. Scoop Harden leads off the 6th in high fashion. Monarchs would love to pad this 1-0 lead. I mean, they've pitched great, played some great defense, but you love to lead by more than a run, especially after the Jetbox scored 8 runs with 2 outs in the top of the 9th last night. Monarchs will be off for... Or check that, I'm sorry, they'll be playing the next 2 nights in Muskegon. We'll be off for a couple nights, and then here on Sunday night, and then they'll be off for 3 days before they play the Jetbox here next Thursday. Or, I'm sorry, the Clippers here next Friday, 7:05 start. All the starts for the home games here at Lake Trust Stadium will be 7:05, pending any kind of doubleheaders. And that pitch high is Sam Thompson. This is exactly the guy you want up with a runner on base. Thompson batting .484 as a hit in his first at bat and grounded out in his second, but a chance here to add to the lead. 1-1, runners moving. That ball through the gap, but that small gap between third and the line, and that's going to bring home Scoop Harden. He's chugging. Will they get him? They do. Oh, we've had 2 base running, I guess you could say kerfuffles tonight, but a great throw from Brendan Lux, who just got out in left field, and I liked the aggressive play. And Dave Robinson sent in Lux home, but just couldn't get there in time. And you got to give credit to the Jetbox. A great throw from Brendan Lux and a good reception there by Matthew Meyer, the catcher. So now, instead of a run in and a runner on second with nobody down, 1 out, a runner on second, and here comes TJ Potkova. Sam Thompson continues to rake, though. Potkova, 0 for 2 so far tonight, batting just 105. Would love to change and add to his average here. And takes a strike down the middle. Nice fastball there by Van Slambrook. TJ Potkova out of Henry Ford Community College. Takes a look here at a 1-1 delivery from Van Slambrook. And a swing and a miss, 0-2 on Potkova. One down, runner on second is Sam Thompson. Scoop Harden thrown out at the plate on a great play for Brennan Lux after a base hit by Thompson. All he does is get base hits. There's the 0-2, swing and a miss. He's down on strikes. Dirty slider there by Van Slambrook, and he's got his first K. And now 2 down, runner on second, and the number 6 hitter, Ethan Every Rose, has its thorn is up. He had a hit and a ground out, batting .364 on the season. With a chance to drive in Sam Thompson and give the Monarchs another run lead here. They're already up 1-0. They'd love to make it 2-0 heading into the 7th. Ethan Rose, one of those 6 new players that's been here for the last few days with the majority of the team up there in Alaska, out of Ypsilanti, Michigan. Saginaw Valley State. He's a sophomore. And takes a strike down the pipe, 1-1. Did have 28 bats and 5 hits for Saginaw Valley State in his sophomore year. Getting some good reps here in the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League. Here's the 1-1 for Van Slambrook. That little low, 2-1. Sam Thompson on second. Guy's batting basically .500 the majority of the season. Definitely one of the main leaders of this team. Was very upset after last night's loss and let his teammates know about it in the way that you want a leader to do it. And that down the middle. Nice fastball for a 2-2 count. And now Van Slambrook just 1 pitch away for potentially be out of this inning. It looked like the Monarchs had a great chance of taking a 2-0 lead, if not more. Here's the 2-2. Runner takes off. Throw at third, almost into the left field. He's safe, is Thompson. So now it's 90 feet away, and the count is full for Ethan Rose. The lefty. 3-2, 2 down, 1-0 Monarchs. Sam Thompson at third. He'll be going on any kind of contact. And that right back to the pitcher, though. That's not the kind of contact you want to score the run. And that will end the inning. No damage done. We stay 1-0 Monarchs. We head to the top of the 7th right here on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Dan Leach back here, Lake Trust Stadium. So great to have you along. I know that Tom Cavanaugh wishes he was here, but he's on assignment in California. He's been looking for spy balloons. He'll be back for that game next Friday against the Clip Joint. Be a 7:05 start. We are here in the top of the 7th, and it's 1-0. 7 hits for the Clippers, 5 hits for the Monarchs. And they have found a way to keep this 1-0 lead, and a lot of it is because of the great pitching of Jake Peer, who is back out for now a 7th inning. I would think this would probably have to be the end for him. You don't see pitchers go that deep in this league, but you know what? There's only 9 players, position players, plus a few pitchers for the Monarchs, because the majority of the team, as we've talked about, is up in Alaska. So you might see a complete game here. We thought that Konashevsky was going to go complete, but some of these, players are on inning counts and obviously pitch counts based on where they play. Jake Peer, of course, from Henry Ford Community College, and it's a great league, but you have to have the ability to be flexible. And that one smacked towards the second baseman, and Joshua Robinson is the first out here of the top of the 7th. Easy play there for Gabetti. And now is the number 8 hitter, normally leads off for this Jetbox team, has in every game the Jetbox have played against the Monarchs, by the way. These teams are 2-2 against each other. Is Michael Shadarov, center fielder from Davenport, a Panther from Warren, Michigan. And he takes the first pitch strike. Pierce almost looked better as the game has gone on. He's had a couple spots where things got a little hairy, but nothing where he didn't come right back in control. That one sprayed foul, and quickly up 0-2 is Jake Apple-Shaped Pear. 0-2 on the number 8 hitter, Shadarov. One down, no one on. Oh, borderline pitch is called the ball by Marty Ernest. He's called a great game tonight, though. No problems up here in the booth with him or Herschel ringing the bell, who's out in the field. Great umpires, got a chance to talk to them before the game. Local products from around this area. That one outside, and it's now even at 2-2. Jake Pear would love strikeout number 2 on his performance tonight, but he hasn't needed strikeouts. He's gotten fly balls, grounders. He's mixed up everything. That one outside, though, and he's worked the count full, has Shadarov. No one on base here in the top of the 7th. This game is breezed by. Just about an hour and 15 or so minutes in. Should be under 2 hours if the Monarchs win at 1-0. And that outside, and he's walked Shadarov, and you wonder if the leash is getting a little smaller on Jake Pear, or if the plan is to have him stay out there for this inning. He's a little upset after how much in command he's been that he lost Shadarov. But here's the number 9 hitter, and a possible chance to end this with a double play. Matthew Meyer steps into the plate. Meyer so far with a hit and a ground out, batting 133 on the season. Out of Northwood, the junior from Iona, Michigan. Here's Pear, and almost hits him. So Pear's got to calm himself down. He was frustrated after losing Shadarov after an 0-2 count. Ended up walking him. Now Shadarov, a few steps off first. Harden on the bag. Here's the pitch. That one skied back towards the backstop, and running out of room is Thompson with that backwards Michigan State catching helmet, or it's really a batting helmet, just turned backwards. And good effort there by Sam Thompson, one of the great leaders on this squad. Monarchs with Michigan State colors, by the way, on their uniforms, but you know, I don't think Michigan State enjoys pinstripes. We do here with the Monarchs, though. Here's the 1-1. One down, runner on first is Shadarov, who walked. Here's Pear. Pear goes back towards first. Harden applies the tag, but back safely is Shadarov. 1-0 Monarchs. It's been an economical game on both sides, but the Monarchs were able to score that run in the first inning, and that's been the difference so far. And that ball chopped towards third. Could be 2. There's 1. 2 for the price of 1. No, safe. But a good start of that play by St. Antoine. And in the end, Gabetti could not get the speedy Matthew Meyer. And now Cody Holtake, the leadoff batter, the second baseman from University of Michigan, will bat with a runner on first and 2 down. Coming back to first base now is Meyer. And Pear could still get out of this inning with no damage done and breeze through 7 with no runs. And that ball in there for a strike. Nice fastball from Pear, who has, for the most part tonight, been in total command. Like a great bowl of fruit. Fruit's excellent after a nice walk. I've been going on 4-mile walks for the last several days, getting back in shape. Have some cherries, maybe a plum, some oranges. That ball outside, and they throw on the first thing and get him off. They do double him off. Great play by Thompson to scoop, and they get Matthew Meyer, who was cheating a little towards second, too much. And that's the end of the inning. And Jake Pear, no runs allowed through 7. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It's time to stretch, friends. Monarchs up 1-0 on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Dan Leach back here with you, Lake Trust Stadium. Shocking development. Victor Wembanyama went overall number 1 in the NBA. I'm kidding. It's no shocking development, but the Pistons will pick number 5. Oscar Thompson's a possibility. A lot of things can start getting crazy after the first 4 picks, though. But if the Pistons pick it, we're still on air. We'll let you know who they pick. But more importantly, the Monarchs back on offense here, bottom 7. They've managed just 5 hits, but they did score in the first inning, giving up just 7 hits, but no runs on this great pitching performance from Jake Peer, one of the new members of this squad after the majority of the team went to Alaska. 7 innings pitched. He scattered 7 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, no runs. Leading off the inning here for the Monarchs, number 13, the DH Connor Cornwell. He's struck out once and grounded out. Batting .259 on the season. And looking in is Ryan Van Slambrook, who came in on relief a couple innings ago from Ryan Pelega. And so far, Van Slambrook has pitched 2 innings, scattered 3 hits, and struck out 1. And that a little high for home plate umpire Marty Ernest's liking, so it's 1-1. On Cornwell. And that in there for a strike. Actually, no, they're going to say he got out of the way. I thought he called it a strike before ball fell down to the right of catcher Matthew Oscar Meyer. 2-1 on Connor Cornwell, the number 7 hitter. Out of Saginaw Valley State. Here's the 2-1. That's outside. 3-1. Love to get another leadoff walk here, or leadoff hit. Oh, 2-1. Oh, they are saying 2-2. That's what I thought. I thought it was a strike. It is 2-2. Thank you, Marty Ernest. We love you. So it's 2-2, as I originally envisioned, and that ball sprayed foul to left field. It remains 2-2 on Connor Cornwell. So we call him up here, Connor Cornwell, making some great plays behind the plate. Tonight, though, he's the DH. Here's the 2-2. That slides in there outside for a ball. And the count is full on Cornwell. Always love to get the leadoff batter on, especially with just a 1-0 lead. Here's the payoff pitch by Van Slambrook. And sprayed foul again, staying alive, BG style, is Cornwell. What a perfect night for baseball. It's down to about 72 degrees. Wind in from the northwest at about 8 miles an hour. Nice breeze. That one sprayed foul again. So good at bat here by Cornwell. Look at Scoop Hart giving the umpire a sack of balls. Gotta love that. Nothing like getting a sack of balls wherever you're at. Here's another payoff pitch, and that one right back to the pitcher. It's happened a few times tonight, and Van Slambrook easily throws out Connor Cornwell. 1 up, 1 down here in the bottom of the 7th. Monarchs still lead it 1-0. And now up the 8-hitter, one of the new players on this team as well, Brody Greenacres, the 3rd baseman. Brody Acres out of Sylvania, Ohio. And Walsh University, good T2 school. He's a sophomore. As I mentioned earlier, had 66 hits and 39 runs batted in for Walsh U. That ball outside, 1-0 on Acres. This game is steamed by. Some good pitching on both sides, and just that opportune ground out by Harden to score St. Antoine, who had stolen 2nd, moved to 3rd in the first inning. That's the only run. After last night, there were 22 runs, and 8 of them in the top of the 9th alone with 2 outs by the Jetbox to even up the series. It was insanity. Here's the 1-1. That high, 2-1 on Acres. And Slambrook has shown some good stuff throughout. He has scattered 3 hits so far in the 9 batters. Now it's 10 batters he's faced, and that one in there for another ball, and it's 3-1. Monarchs in their last 6 lost the opening game of a doubleheader to the Jetbox 15-4 with a mercy rule. Came back, beat them 8-2 in the next game. Here's the 3-1. That one sprayed foul to the right. Then on Saturday, lost in a walk-off at the clip joint 3-2. Then came back here Sunday and lost in a mercy game 14-2. And on Tuesday, dominated with Quinn Konashevsky leading the way, and a great performance by him from the mound. 7-0 over the Jetbox, and last night 15-7. 8 runs in a row with 2 outs scored in the top of the ninth by the Jetbox. That one sprayed into center over the head of Nick Kroll, and on with a base hit is Brody Akers. And if I'm not mistaken, Garrett Primetime Pockeridge, is that Brody Akers' first hit as a Monarch? I believe it is. And here's Jacob Gamendi, who would love to add to the Monarchs tally here. Runner on first and 1 down. Gamendi, the strikeout and a ground out, batting 111 so far in the season. I wonder if Coach David Robinson's going to send Akers. The base running has not worked out with aggressiveness so far tonight for the Monarchs, with St. Antoine getting thrown out and other issues at the plate. Here's the 1-0. And checking the runner is Van Slambrook, getting back easily as Akers. Jacob Gamendi, one of the 6 new players. St. Clair Shores, Michigan, 59 hits, 37 ribbies for Grand Rapids Community College as a redshirt junior, and that one smacked foul to the left side. So Gamendi will get back into the box with a 1-1 count, 1 down, and a runner on first. Monarchs leading at 1-0 here in the bottom of the 7th on a beautiful night for baseball at Lake Trust Stadium. Just picture perfect. And that ball back behind the netting, and now it's 1-2 on Jacob Gamendi. I mentioned about his parents for the game. Quite the couple. Supporting the son. Got a lot of friends and family of these players. It's really just a great league, great atmosphere, a lot of positivity from the different teams that come in here. Of course, the Monarchs, that one sprayed to right field. Will it stay fair? Does it matter? Oh, it does matter, because not being able to make the catch is Robinson. Let's see how they're going to say it was a foul ball. He caught that. It looked like with a foot on the line. Umpires are going to talk about it here. Let's see what Marty Ernest has to say. I thought it was going to be foul. It is. But it looked like he might have made that play as he was crossing the line, which would have made it a fair ball, right? But obviously no replay in the Great League Summer Collegiate League. Garrett Primetime Pockeridge, the operations manager, tried to implement that system, but was denied by the commissioner. It was a great idea, Garrett. Not enough funds for replay equipment for all the teams there. All right, now Marty is talking to Coach David Robinson, explaining what he saw. I mean, look, it was a 50-50 play. And Peter Riley over there using his hands for expression reasons. But nonetheless, it's 1-2 on Gamendi. 1 on, 1 out. Monarchs up 1. And that ball skied to right should be an easy play for Robinson, and it is. And now it's 2 down with a runner on first. And coming up is the top of the lineup, Jonah St. Antoine, the speed demon. He has a run scored, a hit, 2 walks, and was thrown out at home with a little aggressive base running a couple innings ago. He would love to turn that around from his last time up, but he's been on base 3 straight times, takes a strike down the pipe for Van Slambrook. 2 down, Monarchs up 1-0. Akers on first. Here's the delivery from Van Slambrook. Sounds like a wrestler. And that outside, 1-1. It's the Van Slambrook brothers. They're the tag team champions. I think St. Antoine has something to say about that. Here's the 1-1 with 2 down. And back to first, checking Akers, is Van Slambrook, and he's back easy. Count remains 1-1 with 2 down. St. Antoine, just a freshman, but has already shown speed and aggressiveness for this Monarchs team. He just joined them a few days ago. And as a fellow University of Pittsburgh Panther, Quinn Konashevsky, top-level left-handed pitcher who's a junior. As I mentioned, St. Antoine, just a freshman. Here's the 2-1 from Van Slambrook. He goes back to first, back easy as Akers. Normally you hear booing when that happens by the home stands, but they're being respectful tonight. See a father in the stands with a baseball dad shirt on. Gotta love that. And that high, now 3-1. And in danger of putting 2 on with 2 down is Van Slambrook, who's mostly been in control so far tonight in his few innings of work in relief of Ryan Polega, who made his first start ever for the Jetbox tonight. And that ball chopped towards the second baseman should end the inning, and it does. And the Monarchs' threat is over, but they still lead at 1-0. We head to the top of the 8th on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Dan Leach back here with you. Lake Trust Stadium. The Detroit Pistons they're on the clock, right? They're on the clock. Here at Primetime Pogovich will update us with the Pistons pick at number 5. I believe it's going to be Oscar Thompson. I hope it is. So I'd like in that spot with who's gone so far. More importantly, we are now in the top of the 8th. Monarchs still up 1-0 and still on the mound pitching his 8th inning is Jake Pear, and so far he's been awesome. Scattered 7 hits, no runs, none earned. 1 walk, 1 strikeout, faced 27 batters. And leading off the inning for the Jetbox, number 30, Cody Holting. Now we're to the point now that, after what happened last night, if the Monarchs end up somehow losing this game with how well Pierce pitched, that's going to really hurt. So Pierre with a big inning here, and you would think if he gets through this one easy, maybe he will go for the complete game in the top of the 9th, or maybe the Monarchs will bring in a closer. We don't have many pitchers to choose from here with most of the team up in Alaska. That one chopped foul, 1-1 on Holtink, the leadoff hitter, who's leading off this inning. Holtink out of the University of Michigan. Battle Creek is where he hails from. On the season, batting .250, has a hit tonight. A couple of ground outs, and that one, can it drop? It does, but in foul territory, so just a loud strike on Holtink. 1-2 on the leadoff hitter playing second base tonight. First joining us, we did have a switch a couple innings ago. Brendan Lux, who started at third, is moved to left field, and Bruce Jellison, who was a pinch batter a couple innings ago, is at third base, and he will bat coming up shortly. And that sprayed to Gameni. He'll make the play easy, and it's 1 up, 1 down here in the top of the 8th. And here is the number 2 hitter, Caden Penn. Caden Penn so far tonight with a hit, fly out and a ground out. He's batting .375, good enough for the top batting average on this Jetbox squad. They just could come in just 2-8. Second win coming last night with that 8-run top of the 9th with 2 down for all 8 runs for the Jetbox. 0-1. Pierre gets set for his delivery. And that chop towards Scoop Harden, that will go foul right before the bag. She might have even hit the bag. And an 0-2 count ahead as Jake Pierre has been fantastic tonight. He's really mixed his pitches. He's gotten a lot of ground outs, some weak flies, and really has been in command of the arsenal tonight. When the Monarchs need it, there's a strikeout looking, and he can't believe it. His Penn looking back at Marty Ernest, but that was right down the pipe. He's a little upset. He should be A little quiet. He kind of waved his hand, said earnest. Don't want to get tossed here. And it's 2 down and nobody out. And here comes the lefty, Colin Priest. Priest batting .214. Over 3, though, so far tonight. Right to Scoop. He scoops it up, and 1 pitch, 1 out. And that's the 3rd of the inning. We head to the bottom of the 8th. The Monarchs still up 1-0, and Jake Pear has been fantastic. We'll see if the Monarchs can get that insurance run coming up next on the Monarchs Broadcast Network. Dan Leach back here with you, Lake Trust Stadium on a beautiful night for baseball. The Pistons have just selected Osar Thompson out of the, what is it, the G League, or what's that team that he came from? I know he's the MVP. Yeah, Overtime Elite. Didn't go to college. He was the MVP of the league. I believe did he win the title twice? I know he's an all-star, but he is really good. So the Pistons building some really good talent over the last couple of years. Obviously, it sucked. McCade Cunningham got hurt last year. But with Jaden Ivey and Duran and now Thompson and a great coach in Monty, there's a ground. Williams. See if anyone got what movie reference that's from. Give you a hint. Eddie Murphy. All right, it is now a chance for the Monarchs to add a ultra-important insurance run against Jake Pear, which is TJ Pakova, the only other pitcher available tonight. The Monarchs shorthanded with the majority of the team up in Alaska. We'd have a chance for a rare complete game. And Van Slambrook back on for the Jetbox. And leading off the inning here for the Monarchs, Scoop Hart, the number 3 hitter. Made a great play to end that last inning at first. Scooping it up as he does. His father here for every game. Or I'm sorry, Jason Dower, Scoop Harton's next. Dower takes a swinging foul ball, evens the count at 1-1. Scoop Harton did have a great play to end the last inning. 0 for 3, though, for Dower tonight. He's batting .77. Would love to improve that here. Here's the pitch, and that inside, 2-1 on Dower, the center fielder. At a Point U. Senior from Alpharetta, Georgia, about 30 minutes away from where I lived in Atlanta for about 6.5 years. Nice area. That one outside, 3-1 on Jason Dower. Next up, Scoop Hart, and then Sam Thompson, one of the best hitters in the league. This could be just what the doctor ordered to add some insurance runs here for the Monarchs. If Dower can get on, that's a strike, down to count full. Big pitch coming up here for Van Slambrook. Big pitch coming up here for Jason Dower. Big pitch coming up here for both squads. Don't want a leadoff walk. And if you're the Monarchs, you would love to get Dower on and let things go in motion for this Monarch squad. Payoff pitch outside. He does leave that leadoff walk. And up now is Scoop Harden. Harden with a hit and a ribby, the only ribby of the game. Batting .333, has played great in the field as always. And here comes Scoop. Would love to scoop in a run. His favorite player, Mike Trout. And that one smacked on the first pitch to center. Will it drop? It won't. Shadarov makes the play easy, and it's first out of the inning and staying at first base is Jason Dower. But now the best hitter on the team and one of the best in the league, Sam Thompson, is up. Sam Thompson's favorite baseball player, being from that Atlanta area, Chipper Jones, and his favorite post-game meal is a Chipotle bowl. And you would hope if they win the game tonight, he would go right to Chipotle and get one of those top-level bowls. And Thompson takes a ball, first pitch. Thompson so far tonight with 2 hits and a ground out to the pitcher. He's batting .500 even. Would love to up it here and drive in another run. He's by far been the best hitter on this team overall. And that one smacked to left. Doesn't have enough to get over the head of Brennan Lux. It does, and it's a ground rule double. Unfortunately, the bad luck for the lead runner there in Scoop Harden. But it is going to be second and third with 1 down. And this is where the Monarchs failed last night. They had second and third after a run in the 8th. Could have taken the lead. They did not. And then that's when that crazy, unabashed scallywag fest in the top of the 9th happened with 8 straight runs with 2 down after a swinging strike should have ended the top of the 8th, or top of the 9th. But the pass ball allowed the runner to be safe. And this might be the end of the night for Van Slambrook. We shall see as Steve Herbst is out. Beautiful yellow Jetbox jacket. I got to tell you, that's sharp. Being the big Michigan Wolverine fan, a little maze action there. It's something I think that Harbaugh would wear. So let's see what the decision is. I don't see anyone warming up in the Jetbox bullpen. I think this is more of a strategy scenario. And that's exactly what it is. Telling Van Slambrook and his catcher, Matthew Meyer, and the rest of the infield what the strategy is here with TJ Potkova, who has not had a lot of hits this year. He does have a strikeout tonight, betting just 100. If he can get the ball in play here, you get at least 1 run in, whether it's a ball hit far enough to the outfield or a grounder that can score the run from third. You feel great for the Monarchs. Or check that, I'm sorry, it's going to be Ethan Rose. Because they're going to walk, they ended up walking Potkova intentionally to load the bases, obviously to set up double play possibility. So it's Ethan Rose now, the left fielder. Rose, second best batter on the Monarchs so far this year, .333 average, with a hit tonight and a couple of ground outs. Big spot here, bases juiced. And that's a strike, so it's a 1-1 count on every rose has its thorn. One of those 6 new players out of Ypsilanti, Michigan, and Saginaw Valley State, the sophomore. Here's the 1-1 for Van Slambrook. Bases loaded. 1 down. Big spot here for both squads, and a swing and a miss. Good curveball there. What a pitch by Van Slambrook. And it's a 1-2 count. You know, Monarchs, you got to find a way to get at least 1 run here. The bases juiced and 1 down. Here's the 1-2. Van Slambrook looks in, gets ready for the pitch. Fires it, and it's smacked into the gap. That's going to score 2. Every rose does have its thorn. Chugging around and scoring is Harden. And then getting tagged out is Baker. Oh, no. The second time the runner's been tagged out at home, but the Monarchs do get 1. There are now 2 down with a runner on first and second. And, I'm not going to really complain here. I like the aggressiveness, but you've had a couple situations. One with St. Antoine, one there. We had one with Harden. Actually, it's the 3rd time you've had a runner thrown out at home. And that time Thompson gets thrown out, but they do get the run across. That's the key, the insurance run to make it 2-0. Now with 2 down, though, Connor Cornwell, the DH, is up. And a base hit can still score another one. And that ball almost hits him. Cornwell out of the way there. Good eye. So he starts off this at bat and 1-0. Cornwell so far tonight with a strikeout and 2 groundouts. Would love a timely hit here. That one outside, 2-0 on Cornwell. DHing tonight, but usually catches, the sophomore from Sterling Heights, Michigan. Here's Van Slambrook, gets the sign. From catcher Matthew Meyer, 2-0 with 2 on, 2 outs, 2-0. That ball skied towards the first baseman, Calvin Priest. He makes the play, and the threat is over. But the Monarchs get that insurance run and are 3 outs away from winning this series. We'll find out if that happens coming up next on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Dan Leach back here with you. Lake Trust Stadium, 3 outs away. The Monarchs are from winning this series against the Jetbox before they go on the road against the Clip Joint for the next 2. And then they'll play them here at home on Sunday night. Broadcast at 7. First pitch 7:05. How about Jake Peer? Hands down the player of the game. No matter what happens here. 8 innings pitched, scattered 7 hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, 80 pitches on the dot, and a chance at a rare complete game in this Great Lakes Collegiate Summer League. Pear's looked better at times throughout the later part of the game than he did early in the game, but has looked fantastic throughout. 1-0 count to start things off here. And that swung on and into the gap in right and center, but on his horse and making the play is TJ Podkova, who will pitch tomorrow, and it's 1 up, 1 down. And Brandon Lux cannot lead off the inning with a hit. And now it's Bruce Jellison, who was a pinch runner a couple innings ago. Jellison out of Wabash. They were 57-13, one of the best JUCOs in the country. And that ball in for a strike by Pear. Jellison 1 for 7 on the season, batting 142 with 2 RBI. That sprayed foul. It's 1-1. Jellison, a sophomore from Highland, Michigan, probably, if not the best, one of the top 2 or 3 best players on this Jetbox team, but just starting to get going in his Jetbox career. 1-1. With 1 down, nobody on. Jake Peer looking for a complete game shutout here at Lake Trust Stadium. That outside, 2-1. Just joining us, Pistons drafted Oscar Thompson. Excellent selection for the Pistons, who are gathering a lot of great young talent, even though they traded away one of my guys, Sadiq Bey. Lamont Williams, the sky's the limit. That one passed Gametti into center field, so some life here with Jellison getting on with 1 down, and now Kroll is up, the 6-hitter, the shortstop. And Kroll so far tonight does have one of the Jetbox's 8 hits. Batting .250, 1 for 3 on the evening. And he takes a first pitch strike. You wonder how aggressive Steve Herbst wants to be with the base running here. Jellison does have speed. You don't want to get thrown out with a chance to score some runs here and try to tie this game at least and get it to extras. Or get it to the bottom of the 9th. And then possibly extras. That went out outside the zone. It is a 1-1 count. Jake Peer has been in such command for pretty much the entire evening. Looking for a rare complete game shutout in this Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League. And Peer right back to him. Can he turn 2? There's St. Antoine, and he does it at the ball game. What a throw from St. Antoine, and what a pitching performance from Jake Peer. Under 90 pitches, scattered 8 hits, allowed no runs, and the Monarchs win the series, improve their record to 6-7. Jetbox dropped to 2-9, and they will be on the road with this Monarchs team for the next couple of games against the Clippers, and we'll be back here on Sunday for a home game against the Muskegon Clippers. And boy, our player of the game, it's the easiest player of the game I've ever had to give out in my baseball career. It's Jake Peer. He was unreal. And listen, the Monarchs had 9 position players and a couple pitchers tonight. That's all they had. So if Peer had a rough night, he was going to probably just stand there the whole game. He was unbelievable. So bravo to him. I hope his friends and family have been watching and enjoyed that performance by Southgate's own and the pride of Henry Ford Community College, the Fighting Model T's. Great stuff from Jake Peer. Great stuff for the Monarchs. They get the job done. They win at 2-0. We will see you again on Sunday night. Pregame approximately at 6:58. First pitch at 7:05. Until then, thanks so much for watching. For the great Gary Primetime Pogovich, for Kyle, for Nick, Timony, the great Tim Riley, and most importantly, all of you. Keep reaching for the stars. Believe in the dream. I'm Dan Leach saying so long. Once again, the Monarchs win a 2-0 complete game shutout for Jake Peer. We'll see you next time on the Michigan Monarchs Broadcast Network. Peace.